Peace and blessings, family. Let me just get straight to it. My name is Wayne Daniels Jr., and I am not good at hype. So I'm not here to pitch you some internet gimmick or a promise of some passive income or anything like that. This is not a get rich quick scheme off of a PDF. What I am here to do is to pull back the curtain on exactly how I keep 100% of my income, multiply my cash flow tenfold every single month, and legally operate 100% tax free. And I do it all without hiding, without cheating, and without depending on weak public structures like LLCs and S-Corps and all of the nonsense that they've been selling you as protection. See, this is going to be a full breakdown, right? Not some teaser to get you into a webinar, not a masterclass with 47 or 147 slides of fluff and sales. Just real explanation of exactly what I do, why I do it, and how it might completely change the way you think about money, your business, and even your life. And if any part of this speaks to you and you're ready to actually do something with it, then all you got to do is click the button below this video and send me a DM with the words inner circle. And if you're just skimming and watching this while you're multitasking, then please pause for a second because if this clicks for you, that message could mean the difference between another year of hustle and grind endlessly or a lifetime of financial power and control. The choice is yours. All right? So here we go. Let's get into it. We're going to start with the core problem. Most successful people, like entrepreneurs, doctors, executives, even investors doing seven figures or more, have no idea that the structure that they operate inside of is the very reason why they feel stuck. They build the income streams, right? They hired the CPA, they opened the LLC, they filed the S Corp. They think they're being smart. And to be fair, they are based on what they were told. But here's the honest truth. Public business structures were never designed to help you keep your wealth. They were designed to let you earn money, sure, maybe even a lot of money, but then they take it from you through taxes, through fees, through compliance, through liabilities. They only offer you permission to operate on their terms. So you pay for that permission every single year with blood, sweat, and even tears. And what I teach is how to exit that system entirely and how to operate in the private realm where you dictate the terms of your success instead of them. And I know what you might be thinking, like, Wayne, this sounds too good to be true, or it sounds something like billionaires do. Would I even qualify for this? Well, the answer is yes, absolutely. Because this is not about your net worth. It's about your structure. And structure is a choice that you can make today. See, at the center of what I do is something called the private family office. And no, this is not like a traditional single family office or multi-family office. It's actually much, much better. See, a single or a multi-family office is a structure used by families with over 100 million or more in assets, right? Well, the downside to this is that they still operate in the public realm. So they're still reporting their income and still having to pay taxes. But what I've done is create a micro version of that model that you can operate with just 250,000 or 25 million and still get the same strategic benefits. 100% legal, tax-free income, full liability protection, privacy of operation, direct control over where your money goes, zero dependence on public banks, CPAs, or government permission. See, this is how the Rockefellers did it, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Waltons, and even the Mars family. This is how generational wealth is kept intact, tax-free, bulletproof, and no one's ever given you the playbook until now. So, who is this really for? It's for the W-2 earner who's doing everything right on paper, but still loses six figures to taxes and has no leverage without buying something that they don't need every single year just to defer their tax payment a little bit longer. It's for the business owner who is tired of working harder just to pay more into a system that gives nothing back to them in return. It's for doctors and dentists and surgeons and chiropractors, private practitioners who want full autonomy, not just better billing. It's for pro athletes who make millions very early in their careers and they watch it disappear through agents and managers and lawsuits and public exposure and divorces and all of that, right? It's for CEOs and execs who are ready to stop being controlled by the very system that they're setting up and propping up. It's for crypto whales, right? The big guys, the real estate moguls, private investors, and sovereign thinkers. If you're earning real money and you know you're losing way too much of it too fast, and worse, you're just not in control of it, then this is built exactly for you. Now, here's what that ecosystem actually looks like. See, the private irrevocable trust is actually ecclesiastical. Now, this is not your run of the mill living trust. This is definitely not revocable either. This is a private, irrevocable, ecclesiastically anchored trust that stands on constitutional law and case law precedent. It owns your assets, it holds your income, and it's not subject to probate, estate taxes, or most state or federal interference, right? This is the foundation of your structure. This is where jurisdiction actually shifts. And once your income flows into this, you're operating in an entirely different capacity. Now there's a PMA, which is a private membership association. And this is how we deliver value to the world. If you're a coach, consultant, chiropractor, contractor, investor, or even a W-2 employee, you can use a a PMA to contract privately. That means no 1099s, no W-2s, and no public filings, just private contractual agreements. It's how you legally opt out of the employer-employee model and turn your income into private donations or even honorariums. I'll show you exactly how to do that. Next is the foundation, and this is your tax exemption powerhouse. Now, this is actually structured as a 508c1a religious foundation. This allows you to receive income 100% tax-free, fund your own causes, run private retreats, or cover large life expenses in a compliant, structured, private way. For W-2 earners, we use this to actually offset up to 60% of their adjusted gross income through planned giving to your foundation. So this puts a lot of money back in your pocket right away. The family constitution is the next piece, right? Think of this as your governance document. It defines how your trust, your PMA, foundation, and business interact. It outlines succession plans, continuity, missions, and values, stewardship across generations. It's the legal plus the cultural glue that holds all of your wealth together. And now there's the flow strategy. And we set up your income streams to flow through the private family office entirely. So instead of paying yourself from an LLC or getting taxed to death, your trust receives the income, your PMA contracts the labor, and your foundation receives the giving. Your family operates like a sovereign unit, not a vulnerable employee or solo business owner playing defense. Now, let me give you some real life examples. Like, if you're a W-2 earner and you're making $400,000 a year, right now, you're going to be paying 30 to 40% of that in taxes, right? Well, what we're going to do is when we work together, we reclassify your labor relationship through a PMA. We shift 60% of that AGI to your own 508c1a. That's the foundation. And your remaining income flows to your trust. Same income, but now you get to keep 90 to even 100% of that instead of just 60 or less. If you're a 1099 contractor, you're likely already exposed. One audit and they can pretty much unravel you. What we do is we anchor your operations inside the PMA. We reassign ownership to the trust and let your foundation manage your qualified giving. You don't get taxed for working anymore. You get appreciated for structuring the right way. And if you're a business owner, what we do is we build the bridge. We don't tear anything down. You don't have to start over from scratch. We actually can connect your LLC or S-Corp to your trust or a PMA through this foundation. So instead of you paying distributions to yourself and eating the tax bill, the trust collects those profits as a non-reportable entity. Then we flow your operations costs, your marketing, and even your investments through the right part of this structure. Listen, if you're into crypto, right, and it's booming right now, you're an investor. Well, we assign your wallet to your trust. That means capital gains aren't reported in your name. So there are none. The trust is the holder of the record. No KYC, no 1099B. The trust receives, holds, and transfers those assets privately. This is next level protection for digital wealth that keeps you completely hidden and secure. And if you're in real estate, the trust holds title. Not you, not an LLC. That means no public record, no exposure, and no capital gains in your name when you sell. We pair it with the PMA for short term rentals, private lending, or construction projects so that the cash flow stays in flow without ever having to worry about or struggle with landlord, tenant, and squatter issues ever again. See, this is what I do. I help you exit from the public liability and reestablish you in private authority so you become financially powerful, not just free. And if you're asking yourself right now, what makes me qualified? Well, here's my story. I've been studying this for over 20 years and not casually either, very obsessively. So that's trust law, banking law, contract law, constitutional law, property law, you name it, I've studied it. And I've used it to win several cases and lawsuits and even tax issues against the IRS. But in 2018, everything I knew was tested and I failed miserably. I was sued for $42,000. The IRS came after me for over $10,000 and I lost over 3 million in assets all at once, and it was all attached to my name, and I lost everything. I was devastated, right? Like this is rock bottom for the second time in like 8 years. I had to start over, move across the country, back into my parents' house as a grown man with a family. It felt like everything I had built was ripped away from me overnight, and I was absolutely miserable. But that's when I stopped studying this and started to actually implement the private strategies that I had learned, started living it. And so I sought the help of a mentor who would show me the ropes, and there was nobody really out there who would do it. So then I built my own private structure from scratch. No shortcuts, just the raw truth that I had been collecting for decades. And when I put it in place, everything shifted for good. And I have not looked back since. Since then, I've helped over 1,200 people install the private wealth code for themselves across industries, income levels, and asset classes, and have helped my clients and other members acquire over 2.5 billion in new wealth. I myself make all of my money tax free. And the moment that gave me the most clarity actually came from someone I've known my whole life, a friend of the family who worked as a criminal investigator for the IRS for over 30 years. I used to tell him all the time about the stuff I was doing and what I discovered. And he'd always say to me, I can't touch that. It's a conflict of interest. They don't teach us that. We're not even allowed to look at it or go near it. But after he retired a few years ago, he actually took a closer look. And his words were quite simple. You were right. To his surprise, of course. He says, everything is by the book. It's 100% legal and legit. And so I actually ended up helping him set up his own private family office with zero fear, no anxiety or stress. And so today, now I'm certified by the International Private Wealth Association as a private wealth architect. But more than that, I've actually lived this, like I just told you. I've been crushed and I've had to rebuild. And I know how to walk others out of the public trap into total financial control before it happens to them. See, this is my lived experience. It's hard earned wisdom. And now it's a proven model. And I'll never be afraid of being audited. I'll never worry about another lawsuit. And I've been living the financially empowered life with no regrets. See, this is bigger than just financial planning. This is financial restructuring and real financial power. So here's the ask. If any of this made you curious or interested, if you're interested in any of what I said, if it challenged you and what you thought was actually possible, and you want to see what this might look like in your world or what your version of this could look like, then what I need you to do is click the button below this video and DM me the words inner circle. There's no pressure, no hard sell. I'll just send you over the details so you can actually see step by step exactly what you'll be signing up for. And only if it makes perfect sense, then we'll build it together. And I'll say this, every single month you'll wait is another month of giving away money that you could have kept, that could have stayed in your family or went into more high yield investments and stayed in your pocket, vacations, whatever. And the deeper you go into the public system, the harder it is for you to untangle from it. Imagine this instead. You wake up knowing your money works for you. And in fact, in a couple of days, you could have 30 to 40% more money in your pocket with this one single move. So you're not behind, you're not over leveraged, and you're not waiting on someone else's permission to be wealthy. Just your income, your assets, and your family, fully protected and fully flowing. This is how real wealth is created and preserved. This is how generational legacy gets locked in. And this is how freedom becomes more than just the American dream. So click the button below this video, shoot me the DM, and we'll chat to see what it might look like for us to work together. I'll see all of the winners on the inside.